let's talk finalists here, Andy. I think we got a pretty good sense of this whole thing. We agreed Geno Smith definitely gets waved in. We need two more names here. I think I really like your Baker Mayfield analysis. I'm okay with making Baker a finalist, and I would personally push for Will Levis. But if you want to, the Watson stuff is kind of complicated. But I would personally vote for Will Levis. But if there's another name you want to put ahead of him, I'm okay with that.
I think it's more likely that Deshaun Watson gets, like, if we're actually talking top 5, like somebody's got to squeeze into the top 5. I'm not saying it's likely for Deshaun, but I think it's a little bit more likely for Deshaun than it is for Will Levis. Will Levis would really, that would shock me.
All right, well, you really harshened my vibe on this Will Levis thing, but I don't care that much. So our 3 finalists are Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, and Deshaun Watson. Andy, I'm going to rank them first this time because I always let the guests go first, and I just made you do a bunch of talking about the finalists. So I'm going to go ahead and rank this here. I think most least likely. I'm going to go Geno is most. I'll go him as the most likely. Then I will go Deshaun Watson. And the only reason I'm putting your boy Baker Mayfield at 3 is because he was QB 10 last year. And, I think it's a little more, again, drafters and rankers are discounting him, but I think he's actually got he's coming off a better season than these other 2 guys, which, it's all nebulous with these stupid, who is going to be this year's that, because Jordan Love obviously wasn't coming off a bad season. He just wasn't coming off of not playing. So that's my order. Andy, what is your order? Most to least likely.
Yeah, it's the same order. I think Geno Smith has to be at the top. We've seen it before. The receivers are great. Like and we've seen it recently too. It's not like it's not buried in the distant past like it is with Deshaun. I don't know that Deshaun can be that player again. I'm confident that Geno can be the player again that he was 2 years ago. Like, that season can definitely happen. It's a loaded offense, at least in the receiving room. So I know it can happen with Geno. I don't know that it can happen with Deshaun, but it has happened before. Baker, I think Baker can sort of run back exactly what he did last year, but it doesn't put you in the top 5. So if we're going to be like letter of the law here, and we really need to talk about somebody who can crack the top 5 at the position, Baker's number 3 for me.
Yeah, that little teeny tiny bit of rushing upside or sprinkling on the top that Geno gives you is really kind of what makes the difference here between him and Baker, for sure. And even a guy like Will Levis, as much as I wanted to put Levis in the top 3 here, he's not going to give you, I think, what Geno gives you as a runner. So, all right, there you have it. Geno Smith is this year's Jordan Love, a top 5 quarterback that nobody saw coming. I will say, Andy, I talked a lot on this show about learning from my mistakes with the Mayfield thing, the Daniel Jones thing. And what a hypocrite, because I was really into the Seahawks offense last year with these 3 receivers and Geno Smith, year 2 in the offense, and it did not go well. It was a disaster. But I think the hiring of Ryan Grubb, year 2 of Jackson Smith and Jigba being used more in like an intermediate way, Metcalf still in his prime, Lockett there. It feels like that feels like we just missed that for kind of variance and circumstances and stuff like that. The Daniel Jones thing, that was stupid. I regret everything I said about that was just dumb. That was just a dumb thing to do. I think process on being high on the Seahawks offense was right last year, and I think that it can be actualized this year.
Yeah. And again, it might be a little bumpy because it's, new system, new terminology, all that. Like, September could get a little rough. And the offensive line is a huge question mark. Whether they did enough to address it, probably not. But Geno overcame that to a decent extent last year, and he's been like legit good the last couple of years. Not fluky good, not not just running into some crazy big plays or anything like that. Like, he's made some really serious throws. So I have a fair amount of optimism for Geno, and I think he's actually, like, you're playing in a super flex league, I think he's a really good cheap target. Like, because nobody's going to fight you for Geno in a salary cap draft, right? Like, he's not going to cost an arm and a leg. He goes very late. And we've already seen a 30 touchdown season out of this guy with this cast of characters.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing here is, one way or another, maybe he's not going to be a top 5 quarterback, but we are interested in targeting Geno and this Seattle Seahawks offense.